I know. We have got cameras which have got like some zoom on them, and it appears that a thing has been done to like zoom in on the local cam. Whilst the thought sees is happening, Scott is going to try and zoom it out. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that tech support on the way as we go. That worked. There's a second draft actually happening in the Draft Cup right now. They have gone through that speedily. A draft in 3 rounds in best part of 4 hours. So catch them in the bin.
Yeah, so this could be Blue Black Frog, could even be Asper.
Quite a potential mirror.
Yeah, potentially. These mirrors can get a little weird, and it does come down to the little idiosyncrasies in how you've built your deck. But to be honest, I believe that is a Dark Slick Shores, would indicate to me that this is Blue Black Frog or Blue Black Murktide, however you want to tag that deck, basically.
Yeah, for sure. Thoughtseize, lovely. This is just decision points on do they want to cast anything beforehand. So we see a Fatal Push, a Counter Spell, an additional Thoughtseize. Yeah, you're right on the Dark Slick. It does kind of indicate.
So that is a Stern Scolding, a Counter Spell, a Fatal Push, and a Cling to Dust, I believe.
Yeah, we know Will's hand, because Will's playing open too, with 4 lands and a Flicker Wisp. So I think just Counter Spell, taking Counter Spell so that you can start developing, or because Cling to Dust can get played, Fatal Push doesn't really matter to you.
Stern Scolding can still take the Flicker Wisp though.
True.
So, fun development story. Cannot for the life of me remember who said it, but I believe it was one of the modern streamers. Stern Scolding used to just be power 2 or less, but they changed it in development to be power or toughness 2 or less, so it could counter Lurrus of the Dream Den.
Specifically,
that's how far in advance they work, and Lurrus had been banned for maybe a year and a half before Lord of the Rings came out.
Oh yeah, like Lewis. Lewis is something I hope we never revisit. But recent vlogs from Rosewater suggest we might see companions again.
I think companions are good, and they're a positive thing. I just think you don't want to have them be anywhere near as powerful as you literally add a 3-mana tax and it's still busted. How many cards in Magic could you add 3 mana to and they're still broken?
I know, not many at all. Do you know, I'd say with regards...
Black Lotus for 3 mana is okay.
Yeah, that is true.
That's it.
I'd say it's very, very best. The companions are amazing. The other interesting thing's going to be, as the game's developing here, is the lesson tag being back in Avatar. And they were around with Strixhaven and didn't really make a massive impact.
First day of class, baby. So Cling to Dust, exiling the Thoughtseize, just cycling through a card. Scalding Tarn played. So we've got a bit of draw going on. No threats from either side really to speak of.
So let's draw going. Will always has the prettiest basics. That is a pretty plains, I believe. The Cloud was an island. I forget. I think it's plains.
They don't play a basic island, so it's either a mountain or a plains. It could be a mountain.
Oh, it's beautiful though. So remembering how the intricacies of the 8 rounds work today, people will very likely play all 8 rounds if they are in contention for the Invitational, because all the points matter, all the wins matter.
Yeah, so Axion has its own Invitational series that they've started doing, and every match point that you earn across Mega Moderns, they sum them up, and you can use that to qualify for the Invitational, which is this December, I want to say.
It will be December. Probably might have just leaked that, but I think everybody would realise that
it was always going to be somewhere around the end of the year.
Yeah.
I don't actually know the exact date. Even if you know it, you haven't told me. So
I don't know it, no. So, but we do know that there's another Mega Modern coming, and obviously stay tuned to the socials and everything that's going on so that we can let you know at the end of the weekend, which is because early bird will start, which, if you want to play in Magic and you want to play at the cheapest possible price, you can take a look at. So what happened there, Scott?
Flicker Wisp our own shadowy backstreet just to get an extra surveil.
Interesting. And it was a very quick peek and go, which
kind of indicates it's at least a non-land card, but we'd want really a 5-drop. So fetch plus Fatal Push on the Flicker Wisp. An admission from Will of, I need to play the Flicker Wisp at some point anyway. Yeah. Knowing that the Stern Scolding is more valuable than the Fatal Push here.
Yeah. for sure.
So going that way around, using the Fatal Push to deal with it, that is a Preordain, I want to say. So digging a little deeper, that looked like bottom to me. Yeah, probably just trying to find a threat here. Psychic Frog, Murktide wouldn't be bad either. Potentially even just try to find extra lands. If there is a counterspell sitting in that hand, being able to go Murktide with counterspell backup, it's, at this point, for Modern, good. A tale as old as time.
Yeah, pretty solid. We do like it.
Will did target his Surveil land with Flicker Wisp. He just instantly kept the card on top.
Yeah, liked what they saw.
So Emperor of Bones, this can get Stern Scolding. There's a bare minimum. I'd be surprised if it resolves, in all honesty.
That possibly an ordering.
If it resolves, that would indicate another Fatal Push to me. Yeah, okay, here we go. So move to combat in response to combat.
I think Will's caught up now. Will's caught up with the opening hand, so we are starting to look interested. There's a Riddler. First Riddler trigger of the day.
Batman UB incoming. Quantum Riddler. Inbound.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but you can't wait for the Batman. The Batman UB. It's on the way. It'll happen at some point.
We can't work with DC if we're doing this, no. We can't be working with DC if we've got Marvel for days coming yet.
Who knows at this point? So, draw a card, it goes off on Warp, and we have another 4-mana play. So, Witch Enchanter just being played as a 4-mana 2/2. In these games, that can sometimes just
win,
get
right?
there.
You can get there.
You can just sometimes get there with that. Yat still at 15, not under an imminent threat from a 2/2.
Not at all. But also gives Will targets, right, to be able to flicker and things. And Bowmaster in the face. Is that a prize ticket token? Will is so grabbing a Bowmaster token. Oh, they have got one. It was just a placeholder, just in case it didn't resolve or something, I think.
Yeah, so Bowmaster's pinging Will for 1. Again, we're not really accomplishing anything with that. We're just playing it out, using our mana up as much as possible.
Sure.
I think the Witch Enchanter probably still just attacks. I suppose it insulates against this Quantum Riddler coming off of Warp.
It does.
So what we could see here is the Witch Enchanter attacks. If there's a double block, it's fine. Just is what it is, and then we can play the Quantum Riddler and get on with it.
Yep. It works.
There is every chance that Yat just doesn't block with the Bowmasters, and then the Quantum Riddler is not bad by any means, obviously, because it is still a 4/6 that has drawn a card. And yeah, fair enough, you've given your opponent a Bowmaster trigger, but Stern Scolding answers that Philia. That was on Yat's end step.
So pass and go. I can't see Will's hand, but I'm assuming strong.
Will's got 2 cards in hand and 7 mana available now. Quantum Riddler not being cast, scared of a counterspell, that sort of thing, really wants that one to resolve. I think what we want to try and do here is negotiate the game to a situation where you run Yat out of counter magic, and you just hope you draw more threats than they draw answers.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen any meaningful threats out of Yat yet, so the Bowmasters is more of an interaction piece for these decks. A Solitude
is good.
Is going to clean up the Bowmasters if it resolves, and then we can play the Quantum Riddler, start getting some extra cards in. That does also put Will down to 1 card in hand, so assuming we can play a card before playing the Riddler, we then draw 2 cards.
Yep.
So Yat really doesn't want this one to resolve. It is answered by Stiff Breeze in terms of counter magic. Consigned, good enough. Stern Scolding, counterspell itself, yeah. So we do get a counterspell on the Solitude. Will is going to be able to untap.
And might just have to eat the Riddler here?
Hopefully play a card first. So Relic.
That's interesting. That is a worrying card for Yat.
That's really good with Quantum Riddler as well.
Yes.
So you can run yourself out of cards again, exile it, draw 2 with the Quantum Riddler again, and also, if this gets activated soon, which it could...
Does the Riddler get to go? The Riddler gets to go. There's no probably no free. He might play a free spell, but it's going to ping on to the Witch Enchanter to allow the bow. Well, it dies, doesn't it, to the draw? So
we'll assume a very small misstep by Will. They're not attacking with the Witch Enchanter first. Does that count as a mistrigger? Missing the Bowmaster,
No,
does that count?
Miss trigger.
We're being very specific
Yeah.
on Miss Trigger itself, are we?
So for those who were earlier into the stream, we did do a little competition, do over under on the level of miss triggers in the day. Only because Will came straight in the booth and called himself out for 2. So yeah, not what we expect. Passing and go.
Yeah, Ephemerate's pretty nice on the Riddler as well. Just keep drawing cards, churning away. There's a Psychic Frog for Yat, which is the threat that we were so desperately wanting, and this Bowmasters is just going to keep on chewing.
What a card though, right? There's sort of like is up and it's down in all different metas, but just seems to always
Keeps coming back. Keeps coming back. We had a long time where Bowmasters wasn't seeing any play whatsoever. Everyone was playing Psychic Frog, surrounded by bad cards.
Just call here over the thoughts.
Yeah, pointed to the Thoughtseize, so might just be asking for some clarification on how things are working. So can see that Solitude. Oh, I think Will was asking, can I Solitude before the Ephemerate trigger? Which I believe you can if you're hard casting the Solitude. So you can't evoke one and Ephemerate it off of Rebound. There's no way that works in the timing. But Rebound is a trigger that goes on the stack before the spell is placed on the stack. So you can respond to the Ephemerate Rebound trigger, cast the Solitude, and then pass priority on the Rebound trigger, and then use the Ephemerate to target the Solitude that way.
Yes.
So Solitude, the Ephemerate's sitting there. I think we're just clarifying how big the Orc army is as well.
Yeah.
Because life totals are probably going to be relevant here. So the Orcish Bowmaster's been dealt with by the Solitude. That makes this Quantum Riddler a whole lot better.
Yes, lots of card draw, really, really big body. Yes, that token's annoying, but something like Felia could probably clean out that.
Yeah, just a 5/5 doofus is not really that difficult for Blink to deal with. You either, as you said, you blink it with a Felia, a Flicker Wisp, or you just Fatal Push it, Prismatic Ending it, take your pick. You have plenty of interaction pieces that can deal with just a guy when mana cost is irrelevant and sizing is irrelevant. So Will is fetching here. Wants the 4th mana. If this is Ketramos plus activate the relic, we might be done here.
Yeah, that could be quite a lock.
Yeah, so that would sweep away Yat's graveyard, meaning Murktide, if it is in Yat's deck, which we can possibly assume it is. Overlord of the Bale Merc is the play. So that is on Impending. 4 cards. We have a Witch Enchanter in the graveyard already. That was mowed down by the Bowmaster earlier. And that is a Psychic Frog and a Flicker Wisp and a Solitude and a Felia. So Will basically has his pick of all the heavy hitters in this deck of what to pick up.
What do you pick up?
We are just picking up another Solitude. I think that's reasonable, especially when you've got a Quantum Riddler going. You're going to win the long game here. You want to make sure you can get this Psychic Frog off the battlefield and run Yat out of cards as much as possible.
So the feeling out in the field is that, like, if you teched for Blink and for Titan today, you're doing well.
Yeah, there does seem to be quite a lot of Blink and Titan in the room, to be honest.
But also Blink and Titan is doing well.
Well, yeah, by virtue of being a large part of the room, they're going to be doing well, and they're also 2 decks that prey on quote-unquote random crap.
We've also got Kethis combo and Leyline all at 3-0, which is, again, the prey decks, right?
Yeah, exactly. These decks prey on the kind of decks that I like to play, where they are barely functional at the best of times and not very good. Psychic Frog is still around. So one benefit of picking up this Solitude is you can go down on cards by evoking a Solitude. You then get down to 1 card in hand again, and Quantum Riddler applies to any card you draw, so that counts your draw step. So you can go to your draw step, draw some extra cards, play some cards out, crack the relic, draw some extra cards, and just really churn a lot of cards out of 1 card. And Riddler has honestly been a little bit of a star here.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult sometimes on the mana. We are discarding a whole bunch of cards.
So, like, just to kill Riddler, right? Mainly. I know obviously it does pump the frog, but
What I will say is Yat saw the Solitude get picked up, so I think just hoping that...
Are they forcing the Solitude?
I think it's a case of Yat's out there was no other white card.
Yeah.
Deal with the Riddler. Solitude's going to come down and exile the Frog, but you try and deal with it after the fact and just do your best. Not only did Will have a white card spare for that Solitude, also just had an Ephemerate on the existing Solitude.
Yep, exactly.
So Will was well set up there, was going to be able to deal with whatever you needed.
And ultimately, had better resources. And I think that's why we've been seeing the Esper move.
If
like the Demir shell turn into an Esper deck.
Yeah, so the Esper Blink deck it's like a weird combination of these Orzhov Blink decks where you have the Felia, Recruiter of the Guard, Eighth of Isle type things. But then you've also got the small influence from the Demir decks. So the Demir Frog decks, where
exactly,
especially with the interaction with Ketramos, where you can discard some cards and exile them and draw an extra card and go up on cards that way. Some of these decks are moving away from Ketramos. They are now just playing a full Blink package with the Quantum Riddler. Only one for Will today. Bit of content, shall we say? Just making sure to have the Edge of Eternity's card in there.
Yeah, exactly. It's EOE goes nuts on the thumbnail, that thing, for the one of, or the two of, I'm not too sure the exact number he's playing.
Exactly. So, basically experienced there what everyone who has played a Demir tempo/control deck has experienced, where one threat sneaks through, and that's good enough to just kill you. Where, back in the day, I'll sound like I'm 70 years old now, back in the day, you could play these draw-go control decks where you'd Cryptic Command your opponent's game-winning threat, you'd let a couple of 1-drops and 2-drops slip through the net, sweep them up later on because they weren't going to kill you very quickly. Nowadays, the 1-drops that we're playing around with are Guide of Souls and Ocelot Pride, and the 2-drops are Felia and Psychic Frog and Emperor of Bones. You can't really let those slip through the net either.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
So I think we're past the days of nothing but draw-go control, where we're seeing control decks morph more into maybe even these Ephemerate Solitude decks. Omnath, my beloved, is...
you love an Omnath deck. That's the thing.
Look, all I'm going to say is I have got a list I'm working on that includes Quantum Riddler, Ephemerate, and Helga, and we're going to see how that goes. If I can get it to a spot where we like it, I might run a league with it.
Run it on the channel, baby. Run it on the channel.
We'll see.
Like at the end of the day, whenever you're logged into DB _old emo Dave, you can always say it was for the content, however badly it plays.
And when I'm playing the most unhinged deck list known to man. So I think Yat is probably going to be able to set up quite nicely post-sideboard. Taking a mulligan isn't a good start.
No.
But Consign to Memory, as much as it is good against most modern decks, and I think finding a way where you could mainboard Consign to Memory feasibly would put you in a really good spot. Do you bring it in against Blink? Possibly. We saw how important Solitude specifically was, where it answered the Bowmasters. It meant the Psychic Frog was constantly under pressure. Will chose to block with the Quantum Riddler to force Yat's hand and make it so they had to discard their entire hand just to try and attempt to deal with the Riddler, and then it ends up just getting Solituded anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So Consign being able to knock down a Solitude's ETB is at least okay, but I'm hoping Yat has a bit of a smoother draw here. We saw a lot of Thought Seizers and not a lot else.
It's a good turn one, isn't it? You're happy to see
Tamio is an absolutely fantastic turn one, and it's basically putting the impetus on Will to Fatal Push or Prismatic ending it right away. Otherwise, there's the Fatal Push. So it's at least dealt with.
That's what you want to see, at least, is a Fatal Push. Is that another one? That's another one, right? Oh, no, that's
the same Fatal Push. Sorry, Dave was throwing various bits of electronics around.
I sort of threw something on the floor, leaned away, and I was like, oh, okay.
And then he nearly fell out of his chair. He's not going to say that, but I will. I looked left, and Dave's feet were not on the floor anymore, and we were nearly in doubt.
We love that. We love to see that. It's good stuff.
You got to look after yourself, man. Old emo Davis in the branding. Don't want you walking around with a stick.
Well, it probably would help the branding, wouldn't it? Like underpin it, underpin the old.
Yeah, you're somehow both grey and bald, but
like how I managed to do both at the same time is quite a branding relief. But
all we need now is some way to figure out how you can have a fringe and be bald at the same time to lean into the old emo branding.
that sounds like the used on the like 50th anniversary tour, doesn't it? I'm sure Burt McCracken will pull that off at some time. Like,
have you met his brother Phil?
Phil McCracken.
Got him. Right. Psychic Frog got Solitude.
Another cancelled Twitch VOD. Yeah, let's go.
We're just getting him. Nothing but bangers all day. Right. Psychic Frog, the first one was dealt with by Solitude exiling Ophelia. We do have an Overlord ticking down, so at some point that is going to demand a response from Yat, but another Psychic Frog, which is going to meet Prismatic Ending. So 2 threats dealt with, and Will hitting his land drops, which is really important in these matches. We saw it in the last game where Yat kind of got stuck with 3 mana available and wasn't able to interact with enough things all at the same time, and the red list slipped through the net. But both players making their land drops this game. Yat, again, another player with an absolutely beautiful mana base.
Yeah, like, so if you have never bought from Tony P9 Tang on Card Market, then you haven't had a really top level experience, and you also haven't read one of the fastest ones on Card Market.
Shout out.
And
Tony P9 games, I have bought way too many cards from you.
And also, in relation to London and the things that's going on for like bringing up like the grassroots of the game, best value, best regularity, a lot of love, and I hope they see the VOD because we've had 2 of their players now. And
P9, we love you. Please come play more of our tournaments.
And some of the respectfulness they've had in some of the events I played with them with is out of this world. For like the fact that they're top tier,
and they're all really good as well.
Yeah, Jess and Eric we see a lot, and like they're just incredible players, and incredible people. I don't seem to say that. I don't seem to say anything bad about Magic players, but like the thing is like,
I can say some bad stuff about some Magic players. Do you want me to go off? Should we wait another couple of rounds?
Should we leave that for the after party, shall we?
The after party.
Cool, the camera's working again. We've
got the camera back. So after this match, we will go back to the Martin Brundle-esque grid walk with old emo Dave.
We'll go find some people, and we'll go find some people for some chats.
Either way, if there's tech issues this time, I'm not helping you. I need a cigarette.
Like the whole thing about getting you to do these streams is like to just like get rid of the addiction, but we're probably
it's not working.
We're probably fueling it rather than getting rid of it.
Second Overlord met a counter spell, but a Psychic Frog has slipped through that net. Yat hopefully has a Fatal Push, but didn't cast it there, so we'd assume no. A big Huff knows that they're under the gun.
Yeah.
They need to answer this Frog. They need to answer this Overlord that's coming off impending soon as well. Just passes the turn back, so we could be seeing more counter magic. We could be seeing Orcish Bowmasters. This deck does just play at instant speed a lot of the time.
When this becomes creature combat, Will has the advantage, right? But when they have counter spell combat, Yat has a lot more of the options.
Yeah, Yat has different tools to use. So Cling to Dust, Fatal Push, Counter Spell, Stern Scolding, all of these different interaction pieces. Bowmasters can punish that extra Psychic Frog draw a little bit and can compel Will to discard the extra card gained. So essentially acting a little bit like a Raven's Crime, just getting the extra card out. The Frog does grow. A Thoughtseize is a really nice follow-up though, taking the counter spell away, so no point countering that, would just be saving Will 2 life. So Yat is out of cards, Will is out of cards. We have an Overlord, we have a Psychic Frog on one side, and we have a Bowmasters and a random 2/2 Dorkatron on the other side, who isn't really going to be accomplishing too much.
Yeah, fair play.
We need a good card off the top here from Yat.
It's
just assessing the board.
Having a lot of mana, but not having a lot of answers.
Not even necessarily having a lot of mana. I think it's just Will managed to slip 1 threat through the net again, and that was enough. Will's life total is getting down there, so can't really. That's a Ketramos on top. Not enough cards in exile, but is keeping it on top. So with the Overlord attack, which would be happening next turn. We can use that to fuel the graveyard.
Yeah.
We can
This is-
exile
this-
we can exile the cards to the Psychic Frog. So we can do like the Psychic Frog Ketramos thing.
The cheeky thing, which ultimately
That will turn the Ketramos on. So that'll mean it can block.
there's definitely a big huff on that side of the thing, because ultimately the Ketramos here in this matchup is a big beater. It doesn't die to fatal push. You can't stop it scolding. But half of the again, we've talked a lot today about why we're seeing this flip around to
These
Esper.
Esper style decks, where even if you're more of a Tamiyo Psychic Frog gamer, you even see those touching white sometimes for things like Pest Control or Prismatic Ending, just to have a bit of a wider suite of answers. It's not often you see straight blue-black very much anymore, but I know that a lot of the P9 guys they're a purveyor of a watery grave, shall we say. They know what they like and they like what they know.
Exactly.
And they will do things with decks that you look at them and think, well, this can never win in this format, and then you see 3 of them in the top 8 and you want to cry because you know you're never going to be that good.
And I think this is another testament to, that we go back to the breach ban. And do you know what? Like we sat through Nadu Summer here last year, and we just ate it up for the content. But I'm so glad we're not setting through breach, because we wouldn't see some of these.
We've had some really good games of Magic already.
Yeah.
We saw a Wrath of the Skies get peeled.
So we spoke to Will, and that actually was off the top as well.
Oh yeah,
So
it was peeled.
It was perfect timing, but it was also perfect drawing. So that was important to get that game over the line.
So Solitude was picked up off the Overlord attack, and we can see the little trick here where you give Psychic Frog flying multiple times. That doesn't do anything. It doesn't get 7x flying. That's not a thing. It doesn't fly higher.
7x flying.
It doesn't fly higher than the highest cloud. I was going to start singing then, but I will not subject to all of that. So we can turn the Ketramos on at will. This 2/2 dude in the Orc army is
not a
just
problem, are they?
it's just not going to really be doing a lot. Thoughtseize. That can take away the Solitude.
Yep.
Oh no, Quantum Riddler, sorry. Oh, the
Okay.
Solitude's on the battlefield. I'm an idiot. So Quantum Riddler was the last card in hand. Quite nice, shall we say?
We'll take that. Will has all the fuel.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Psychic Frog being given flying, so we'll draw a card. Oh, that's another missed trigger.
There should be a takedown. We are up to 3. For those who did the over 10.
For the people keeping track, that is 3 missed triggers, but I feel like it's not really going to matter. Let's be real for a second. So there's a Solitude and a Ketramos crashing in.
You only draw on your turn.
Oh, is it? In which case?
Oh, good point.
In which case?
Thanks,
not
Blonsky.
a missed trigger. I'm an idiot.
Scott mistakes plus minus to Dave's mistakes. He's still still has made a lot less mistakes.
So that was enough. That was indeed enough. Even with commentary being bad at Magic and not understanding how all the cards work, I apologize. If we do make mistakes, please let us know. We want to try and give you the best content possible. But also, don't criticize me. My ego is really fragile and I will cry.